Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another episode of TBH, to be honest. So we have a guest here, Saka.
Yeah, man.
Oh, boy.
Good enough, bro.
All right, so let me tell you this. I just realized that I didn't know your real name until today when they sent me an email. So,
Lots of people don't.
what is your real name?
My name is Romario Pyne.
Romario Pyne.
Yeah,
All right. Because ever since I've known of you as Saka or Saka
yeah, man.
or...
Most people don't know my real name for real now.
Cool. All right. So, first question. Who is Romario Pyne?
This morning me I try to rehearse the same thing. I say, yo, who is this person? Who is this person? All right, it's a simple, just a youth where, very humble, um, very outgoing, very fun to be around. I always consider myself the life of any party, regardless of the situation. So yeah, basically that. This eldest for my mother, third or fourth for my father, and yeah, that's that. Yeah, simple.
Okay, cool. All right. So, how I came to know of you is it would have been 2017, I believe, somewhere there about.
Mm-mm. I won't carry. I'm here 5 years now,
No. So, you're in the States 5 years?
5 years. So 20. That concert was early 2015.
2015, is that early?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Okay. So,
26. No, early 2016.
16,
Sorry. Yes.
2016. Okay, cool. All right. So I was told of one of our friends, Tony
Mhm.
Gray, she invited me to a concert. She invited Shahaye, which is the choir that I directed at the time, to sing at a concert in St. Anne. It was a benefit concert for this young man who had a condition. So Shahaye went there and we sang, and that's when I would have seen you for the first time. But tell us, what exactly is the condition?
Okay, so 2015, the same year that concert was kept. I was diagnosed with end stage renal failure. Basically, they were telling me that at 27 I had no kidneys left, 12 less than 12% functionality in both kidneys, which meant immediate dialysis. So yeah,
At age 27?
yes.
Okay. So do you or do they know what caused it?
Well, a few years prior to that, I think 2007, I had a spinal injury, a back injury, major surgery. Um, to this day, I haven't fully recuperated from that surgery. I some we had complications leaving the hospital, coming home. A lot of issues we had. So I surmise that probably contributions from that surgery helped in this current situation.
What caused the injury?
Um, uh, Different stories. They said I was born with a narrow spinal cord. The track was small, so from I was born, they never went in, and through the years, it just take time, erode till it
Mm.
damaged the nerve. I fell a few times playing basketball. I fell again, and that was one of the times that after I had that fall, I felt it.
Mm. Okay. So how did, like, moving forward to 2016, when they diagnosed the problem, was it like what made you know something was wrong? Like what?
Well, prior to going to a doctor, my body started to feel a certain way. I was very exhausted, very, very tired most of the time. I would constantly be brushing my teeth. One of the signs of extra toxins in your body is your mouth tastes like you bite a rusty nail.
Mm.
And that was just a constant taste, regardless of how fresh your mouth was.
Mm-hmm.
Once you swallowed or you spoke, that was the scent. you always smelt, you
Mm.
know. So that was a sign. My gut swelling on my legs. I just realized that my urine was very puffy, and I started to Google this and Google that, and I realized that most of these symptoms came from that one thing.
Mm-hmm. So when you just got diagnosed, like what was the feeling? How you handle that?
Um, Diagnosis day. It was a Thursday. I will never forget. My mother and I went to Montego Bay to see the nephrologist. He was the one who was going to, you know, prescribe. Well, read us what the blood results were. And he, to me, had no level of sympathy in breaking the news. He just told my mother, and I dead in the face that, listen, he has end stage renal, which means immediate dialysis. And that was that. And honestly, we sat there for like 10 minutes. I was dazed out. I didn't even know what to say. She didn't know what to say.
Mm.
That was it.
Wow, wow, wow. Would you have wanted the doctor to like be more empathetic about it more?
Yeah, I feel like, I'm the type of person that news, regardless of the person who I bring the news to, empathy is something that I always consider, because you don't know the reaction that somebody can give. Some people get aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
some people will not accept what you're saying to them as the truth. So you have to know how to break that to them. So I just felt as if like I had none of that.
Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Is it something that can be cured, or is it like for life?
Well, hmm, let me think of the ethical way to answer this. If you ask a doctor about having cures for this, they'll tell you a transplant and stuff. I've heard of other people doing, different things they try and they come back. But I was at a stage where functionality of my kidneys were totally gone. So I wouldn't think you can be cured without a transplant at this end stage point.
Mm-hmm.
I Miracles do happen and things it can happen. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but the reality of it is straight up that it would have to have a transplant in order for it to basically not be fully healed, but with care and responsibility and all these things, you can live probably have that kidney for another 20, 25 years.
Mm-hmm. So is that, or was that or is that a part of like the goal to get a transplant?
Yes. Basically since I came here, that was one of my biggest things I want to achieve. I was always thinking of a transplant, and I am currently on a list
Mm.
waiting for a transplant. Now, a kidney is only given to somebody who has met a strict requirement. They take at least 17 vials of blood every year to make sure that everything is pinpoint accurate. I just did recently, I think about 2 months ago, I did my annual blood work and everything. So I'm just waiting. It could be any day. It could be a call any time of the day, whatever time you got to go. The sad part of it is that most times when you get a kidney from somebody, it's either a family member one or a random kidney might be mean somebody just died. You got a kidney. But yeah.
So is it a case where like a family member of yours could decide to just give a kidney, or?
Yes, but funny story, my mother came here when I came here, my mother came with me because we were planning, well, she had it in mind, whatever the case may be, if she could, she would. Turns out that she had to remove one of her kidneys a few years ago based on the fact that it was damaged. So that would have been double jeopardy right there.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
But family, I honestly, I have a younger sister, and I know I family would want to give, but I would have probably denied. You know, I feel as if, you know, you don't know what the future holds for you, and if you have kids or whatever, then or a spouse and whatever you want to give, then it's fine.
Yeah. Okay. So how difficult was it initially, like doing dialysis and starting this new path?
Well, remembered my dialysis day is my birthday. My first treatment was on a birthday.
Wow.
And yes, that is exactly my reaction. I remember vividly. There were two sisters, they were twins at my church. They helped you had to put a tube in, and they were right there, right beside me the day when we were doing the tube at Friday evening. I will never forget. And the morning they called me, I had to go to Ocherius to do the dialysis. And when I went out there, I was so depressed because birthday to them, a birthday. I'm there on this machine, I do this thing, and I slept there and listen to me, man. Me sleep all the entire 4 hours, like literally. Forced to sleep because depression was real at that point. Like the reality struck straight in the face, like, yo, at this me have to do. And then because this is a lifetime thing, you start think how long a lifetime can be in your own little mind. It was very depressing at first. It was. It was. Yeah.
For those who don't know, explain what exactly dialysis is and what the process is.
All right. So basically, the kidneys play a big function in the body. That's where your urine and everything that's toxic gets filtered through. Now, dialysis plays as a artificial kidney, which with the help of biocarb and acids, they run your blood, they filter your blood through needles, which I pumped. I can't even, I don't want to show my hand. I don't want to show my hand because it might be disturbing to other people. But they build a thing in your hand. It's called a shunt, or they use the regular veins, tie them to the arteries, make them big so they can use it for dialysis. So when you put in an arterial, which is to pull the blood, and the venous is to put back the blood, what happens is in that process is that it goes through the machine, it's circulated and mixed with the acid, and the biocarbon comes back in almost an immediate process. Yeah.
Okay. How often you have to do it?
I have to complete 16 hours a week. So basically that would be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and a Saturday. Sometimes I go, sometimes I don't go, you know, but yeah.
How hard is it, like, financially to
Well, listen, let me tell you something. Back home it was very strenuous. We're not poor. For those who know my mother, know that my mother worked with the conference for many years. She's been in the conference from inception. So it's not that we're not poor, but not rich either. I feel like we were one of those modest families in Jamaica that could afford to live. And so when we found out about it, it was very strenuous, you know. I was never I used to go 2 times a week back home, and money was an issue. Yes, I could tell because that would be, let me calculate this for you right now. That would be 18,000, 19,000. Let's just say 21,000 every week for, you know, dialysis and something to eat basically in the mornings, because it makes you nauseous, it makes you feel So you probably want to have something this amount. So 21,000 every week. That was yeah. It's a bit strenuous, yes, because that could have been used for some other venture.
Yeah. What made you decide to move to the States?
Well, after I started and I started to see that, listen, work out. Honestly, I saw myself deteriorate. I was losing a lot of weight, and people thought, "Oh yeah, you look good," but they didn't understand that, I dead. If I could be quite frank at the point. I remember my aunt came to Jamaica to see me, and when she came, she looked at me in a level of like surprise, like, "Wow, you really look ghostly," And I decided. Well, we decided at the time. A friend of mine, he's from Salem, SDA, Salem, Mount Edgecombe. He came here to Long Island to his daughter, and she, she's in the nursing field, and she told him about getting, treatment and whatever and whatever, and he passed it on to me. And I did some research, and I learned that I could come to the States and come to a public hospital and get some help. And with that, with knowing a little bit of information, we made some contacts to family members here, and we came here knowing nothing, guaranteed absolutely nothing. Yeah.
Mm. When you said you could get help from the hospital, what help meaning what?
Okay, so New York City is known as a sanctuary state, and oftentimes people come here to, immigrants come here a lot and get a lot of help in the state. Um, people with life, wait, what's the term? What's I'm looking for? People with life-changing diseases, if I can say that, are helped by this, are granted insurances and granted treatments here, regardless of your ethnicity, your status, and everything. You are granted, you're due that under the United States, under the New York law.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So how was it making the move? Like, what was when you moved here? How was the transition?
I transition coming here. I'm used to America. I've been traveling here many years, but coming here this time, as I said, it was a different trip. This trip was not a vacation trip
Right.
or something. This is a trip where business things has to be done or we're going back home. So I remember my final Saturday night, that's my circle, Tony and a lot of, other peeps, my good, yeah. We had a dinner and I sat them down and we talk to them. I tell them, so listen, if I come back in the next week or so, things will work out to me. But if you not see me come back in the next week, you better thank God that things are work out. And that's basically how, as I said before, we never had any idea as what was going to happen when we made the trip. We didn't know nothing. There was no guarantees at the time.
In terms of like job, work, them things.
Yes, accommodations was the least. I had family here, so that was one of the things where, accommodation wasn't the issue.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of coming here, finances one, and dialysis itself as how would get things done
Mm-hmm.
was unsure. So when I came, it was like, yo, you left Mandeville and you're gone. We are where we gonna live, and you not even know nobody.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how it was, because as I said before, I had a circle, my church, like the youths of my church. I just want to put this in real quick. Like the youths of my church are my strength. You understand? They never normally. I was always fitting in regardless of how sick I was. Let's just say that I was never looked down on as, oh, Saka sick, wait. No, they were my strength.
Mhm.
You understand? So leaving that circle and coming here to the unknown was something that was very hard for me to cope with.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you tell your friend them say 1 week if you come back. So
Yeah,
tell me,
man.
what was that first week like?
First week, bro. Walk you through it real quick. First week, as I said before, we never know what we do. So I land here the 5th of July. And the plan was, I said, Mommy, I spoke to my aunt, I said, listen, you hear me now? I got information from my friend whose daughter told him what to do. I told them, listen, let me go to the hospital a day after. Let me miss one treatment, go in a day after. And then let's see what happens. Now, the plan was, I'm going to be honest about you. Your program says to be honest. I'm going to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
We had to mislead or lie. And I'm going to tell you how come. When we got to the hospital, right, they left me off. Nobody came in with me. I came in as a random. I was short of breath. So the lady had me to write, I had to write up my information and stuff. So, and immediately I was rushed into the ER because patient looked critical at the point. I looked like I was going to pass out. Going into the hospital now, I was hooked up with IVs and a bunch of stuff ready. Them started treating me immediately because something all right. When they came for information of who you are, how you come America, this and that and rate it, I was told, do not tell the truth. Don't tell the truth, Saka. Just fix up something to make you look that way there. So here it now. This is how they go now. When them ask me who me come to, I just came to see some friends and stop by family, where you staying. I left from the airport and came straight here. Listen, a whole heap of little misleading information, and felt it felt awake, and I say, yo, Jano, this me have to do.
Mm-hmm.
But they tried to catch me in the brother.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the hospital one night, them come out of the room, but after two, a team of people, wake me up, Mr. Pyne, good morning. You were just here again from admissions and whatever. How you say whatever again? And I had to remember that.
Memorize everything.
Come on, man. Yeah, man, I had to do that, man. And funny story, brother. Listen. See, next morning, remember now, I don't know nothing about the system. They came for dialysis this morning. They said, Mr. Pyne, we're ready for you for dialysis. Early 5:30, wake up and Mr. Teleporter now, the guy with the transporter. Listen, brother, me not going now. He said, why not? Me say, me not have no money to pay for this in a boss. He said to me, say, money? Come on, man. So he said, nurse, talk to the patient, please. The nurse said, what money? She said, Galang. She's a Jamaican. She said, Galang. And when you come back, you come talk to me. So I was so skeptical about it because I don't know what is going on now. I don't know if I was going to be charged.
Mm-hmm.
And things. So I went to my first session here in New York. And it was very friendly staff and whatever. Good treatment. Came back to the room, call my mother, tell my mother what I want, stuff and stuff. And it's like, I felt so much better than my treatments back home. For the first time in a long time, I had a refreshed feeling. So like something definitely was different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the first week just ran off basically being in the hospital. I spent 7 weeks in the hospital when I came here first. I spent all of July, and I spent I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks in August before I came out. And that was based on the fact that by that time now I had to get a social worker who listen, hold on, just give me a second, because this come back to me and I have to smile. Got a social worker who was Spanish, right? And she came in and she said, I'm coming to you right now. At the same time, I see the Romanian Virgo. See the Romanian Virgo song, and so I just said, be happy, say, boy, things feel different. A Jamaican lady come to me and say, just come. She said, yes. I say, yes. She said, I'm coming to you right now. I'm a social worker. I'm coming to you right now. And I say, okay, cool. Anyway, she come, brother. She sit me down and she looked me dead in my face. And she said to me, say, me know what I do. Me know what I do. And me I gonna help you do what I do. And at first I was like trying to deny. She gonna say, yo, what you talk about? But then because she's been in the system that long, she know exactly. And she told me straight up, if that Spanish social worker had took my case, I wouldn't have been granted what I have. You know what I'm saying? So I feel at that point, like the injection of faith or something happened there. So if you know, so boy, it sealed me up. It sealed me up at that point, you know? Yeah, man.
You said it felt different. You felt refreshed for the first time over
Yeah.
there. Do you know what the difference was, or you don't know?
Difference was so in Jamaica, resources are limited. A lot of people who have been in the healthcare system and been there can tell you, if you can do better, do better. If you can't, if you not for good, no go. And I'm one of those persons who have been in the healthcare system and know that a lot of things are shortages. They have a lot of shortage. So back home, one of the most important things that I use every day is called a dialyzer. Basically, that's what your treatment is based up on. Most of all of the everything that filters your blood, that's the device that filters the blood. Back in Jamaica, they reuse that. In the States, that is not reused. So back home, they'll wash it and the percentage in it deteriorates. Once it's under 50%, they throw it away. Here, you get a fresh one every time. So with that being said, now, once you do a treatment here, you feel something that you never normally feel before. Like for me, I would every 6 weeks or so, a Jamaican would have feel different because we get a new dialyzer to use. After that 6 weeks, then you have to return. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, it's who you moved with?
So I moved with my aunt, my uncle's wife at the time. Yeah. Sometimes, I moved. I don't want to touch on that. Okay. But I ended up moving with my youngest aunt for a short period of time afterwards. And then basically from there, I met somebody, my wife, got married, and I live with my wife now.
Beautiful. But I actually meant who moved with you from Jamaica, or if it's just you.
Mommy and I came, man.
Okay.
Mommy and I came for just to settle me in.
Okay.
Mommy had to go back. I think she left, before I even came out of the hospital, she had to go back because at the time she was working with a conference and she had to go back in for start of work, which would be the 3rd week of August. So she had to go back. She had to go back in.
So how work did go? How did you find work and how long?
All right. So Work here for me was something that I had a passion for, which is music. I DJ
Yeah,
but yeah, yes,
I don't know
that's
that.
yeah. Yes, I DJ. I have my equipment. I bought most of my equipment. I got help from a few people and put my thing together. And that has been my income. Trust me, not as lucrative as I want it to, but it helps. It
Mhm.
helps in so much different ways. You understand? I have to be thankful for that. I haven't had a real job yet. I'm still working on a few things because what happened is that most times when I consider work and everything, I've spoken to a few people, they're telling me that with my dialysis and whatever, they're looking for X amount of hours per
Mhm.
week. And as I said before, I do 16 hours a week on the machine. So that one of those things that is very tricky there.
Mhm.
But the good thing about America is there are so many options that you could do this, that, whatever, and still make an income. So, still working on something.
Where DJ?
Brother, all over. All over. I've gone places where I've gone as far as Long Island, did a wedding a few weeks ago. I've gone to Brooklyn. I've all over, trust me. May
Mhm.
go all over.
Yeah. And what kind of music you play?
Listen to me. I'm gonna tell you something. Attend a given event, whatever the patrons requests, or because I do mostly baby showers and you know corporate events. This
Mhm.
weekend I have a corporate event for Montefiore Hospital, one of the top hospitals in the state. I
Mhm.
have a retirement party for one of their workers,
Mhm.
and I'll be doing that. So I don't really endeavor in the dance type of thing. I do more corporate events and more elegant sit down,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
you know. Yeah, so that is basically. But I've done a few sessions where it turned out in a yeah. Praise the Lord for that. And yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, man.
So tell me, is the dialysis, is it something that you've gotten used to after a while? Is it?
Brother, listen to me. I'll tell you something. I have become an ambassador for this thing here.
Uh-huh.
Tell you this, man, because I garnered strength from the fact that it's something that I gonna save my life. Like when people can tell you if you go as soon as me and ask anybody or ask April or ask anybody, yo, what me go through, them can't lie about it, them can tell you. I remember, brother, I used to leave the dialysis on a Thursday. And by Friday night, me I blow shot.
Mm.
But now I go back till Monday. Saturday, me the hospital. Most of the times I'm leaving the hospital to go to dialysis and go back to the hospital. That's how sick I was. And moving from that now to only seeing the hospital, with any ailment you see the hospital about, not talk about sometime I want 2 years. The last time I went to the hospital, when they checked me, it's like, oh, Mr. Pyne, we haven't seen you in over 18 months. I said, that is good. Why you so surprised? So
Yeah.
from a regular visit to the hospital to, but I have, listen, it has made me such a stronger person mentally. And when I just started out, I was wondering how am I gonna do this? And now sometimes me even stick myself.
Mm.
When me can come in early and them not reach me yet, I clean my hand and stab myself with the needle same way. And yeah, some I say so. I have gotten to a point where I am, you know, contented with the fact that it is helping save my life or keep me alive then basically.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Mhm.
I tell you the truth, you make me want to go drink some water right now because I hate needles.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
yeah,
sure say my kidney is good for life.
yeah. People, I'm telling you something, I know an easy thing. 'Cause I've seen people die on the machine. I've seen people pass out and drop down in front of me, and that's something where it's like, you know. I remember I met a girl at the hospital in St. Ann. Now, like, let me see the girl, nice brown, pretty girl. No? I can't forget, man. I went, sat right beside her, and I saw her looking at me on an angle. So when we started talking, she started telling me, say, listen, want to talk to me in a car. She me round and pretty, me sick. So me said, then me the hospital too, so if you sick, we sick together. And we started to talk about, health situation, and found out that she had sugar, and when I eye them, it damaged her eye and whatever. And she had to start dialysis too. And me start tell her, me now start to promote my dialysis center. Me turn spokesman for them attempts to tell her, say like, listen, so on, so on, so on, so. And we became friends because she never knew much about it. I just started, and I felt as if like I had to share my experience to prepare her for it. I remember one day I got a phone call from her mother saying, because I was calling her phone and I didn't get her. And I say, yo, come to her. Oh. Her mother called me and said, oh boy, I don't know if to tell you. And I say, well, mommy, if I hear your voice, I kind of have an idea of where you're going with this. And she told me that she passed and whatever. And it rocked me. You know why? She was very young. And me tell myself, I said, boy, this could have been me, And oftentimes, some mornings, I want to sleep. And I get up at 4:50 every morning to go out to dialysis. And my wife can tell her, sometimes men are catching us something because me, I get up and I go. I'm going. I know what it has done for me. You understand what I say? So sometimes, it is a mental thing. And if you don't put your mind to it, a lot of people have given up. I met a guy, Miguel. I came here, met a guy, Miguel. And he could not accept the fact that he was sick. And this guy would just drink, because you're restricted to the amount that you can drink for a day. And you're not supposed to drink over. I sometimes break the rules, me different. But yeah, you're not supposed to drink X amount for the day. And sometimes he will come in with 20 kilos, that's 40 pounds of fluid, basically. That's a lot of fluid on your body. And, it takes a level of discipline, which I haven't reached yet. Even after 5 years, I still haven't reached that discipline yet. You know what I'm saying? But I still work on it. It's a mental thing, and not everybody. I don't believe that everybody can adjust to such a lifestyle because I make it look easy. People who know me will know, say, I will do this, leave this, go anywhere, have some fun, laugh, whatever. And you're like, at some point, me get tired. You're like, Saka, you good? I'm tired. What happened? I'm going to dialysis today. Are you there or something? Yeah, that's how I am. You know what I'm saying? So I've adjusted to it, brother. I've adjusted to it.
That's good. That's good. All right.
Yeah,
for those who are back home who would have known your condition but probably wouldn't have heard, follow up. What's the main takeaway you want them to know about where you are now?
I am good, as healthy as I can be. I what's the word I'm looking for? I'm more contented in life, because when I was back home, I would be worrying as when is my last. I remember, I ain't gonna lie, I have to say this, like, I remember when Shavar came to see me one time in the hospital, and we used to run joke because they're bridging from long time or whatever. And Duran was there too, and we all there, and we say to them, "Oh no, go on, me I got dead before you." And them say, "No, we are got dead before you." And like, people who know, say them two, they're like two brother to me. My level of comfort is not the same here. because I miss home. I miss my peeps back home. I miss all who know me. No one said me rap with them. I miss that. Because here, so nobody has that time to,
Yeah.
and it's different, it's totally different.
Yep.
So I miss that little bit of intimacy that I had back home with my peeps and whatever. And hopefully soon enough, I can come down and spend a few days and get to relive that because I do miss that. I do.
You haven't been back since you moved.
No, I plan to do. I had planned to do so right before COVID. Was checking out flights and everything. Like I was going to go. Listen to me, man. The 9th, I was planning to go to Jamaica the 9th of April 2 years ago, a year and a half ago before COVID started. And when time me check out flight and everything and thing, me here say, borders closed because this. So I said, I want this. And since then it's been 18 months or whatever. I'm still no need, and I just feel as if like I want to stay. I don't want to come to Jamaica because I'm not a vaccine person. So I'm not take the vaccine to come to Jamaica. We travel, and nobody now go force me to no action that I don't want to take. So with that being said, like maybe if it's possible, maybe next year or as soon as this Corona thing gives us a break, if it does give us a break, then yeah, that's my trip right there.
Would your condition, if it does, like, would COVID be like more serious for you based on your condition?
A funny thing, I was telling my bigger sister last night. So I got COVID. So them said, I was in the hospital. Sorry, I was in the hospital and did a test. Them tell me say, no, them start moving me from Russia. I'm there immediately. So I said, I bet that fast. Oh, great. So they say, she looked at me like, so I said, wait, what going? So I said, where we go? Nobody not talk. After they move me in one room, brother, and me I hear a so I said, wait, what going on up? Somebody please explain to me what is going on here. They brought me on there. It's called the green room or whatever. Code green, COVID quarters. I said, Jesus Christ, me dead no, I know me dead. This not look good. Anyway, doctor came and spoke to me. She said, you have COVID. So what? She said, yeah, you have COVID. I said, Lord have mercy. Anyway, I kept it a secret because I never really want people to start worry. I never told my family here. I just, my wife alone was the person who knew, and I told her not to say anything as much. And bro, listen, I gotta walk now. You know, say I went in the room about 4 a.m. next morning. Reached the room, me I hear I said, Jesus Christ, what is this there, lad? My roommate have full-blown COVID over there. I wheeze, I can't down the web, I sneeze. I'm like, yes, Lord, I catching it now. Next day they came, Mr. Pyne, any symptoms? Nope. How you feeling? Not good. Mr. Pyne, wear a mask. Me not wearing a mask. Blah, blah, blah. Second day, third day, same thing. They did a retest 2 days afterwards. No COVID. Dr. came and said I was a carrier. I was one of those people who were asymptomatic. And I'm a threat. Like, okay. So I had to be quarantined in the hospital. I'm not bashing this COVID thing. I'm not. But most of what the people are afraid of is the unknown. And a lot of people do have COVID and you're living same way. I believe the fact that you know, that's what worries you to death, makes you deteriorate as much as possible. I have garnered strength from knowing stuff and always thinking of a positive to come out of it. That's just me. So I caught it. And what the good thing about me is that I do dialysis every other day, and even anything that has any ailments or whatever that takes my body, reaches my body, I have to do the blood or anything of the sort, gets circled out through my dialysis treatment. So with that being said, like for people like myself who are on dialysis, we might catch it, yes, and some of us don't make it out or whatever. But for most of us who are carriers or whatever, we probably last. Get me out. Yeah.
All right. Question. There's a two-part question. The first part is for anybody who has a disease, an ailment dealing with, and it's stressing them out. It's hard for them to cope, or if they've just learned of that disease, just been diagnosed. What encouragement do you have for them?
I would say talk. I didn't talk. I dealt with mine myself because I don't do sympathy. So I'm not a person to, oh God, why me wish me? No, don't come with that. You know, I hear that. I believe each person is different. You deal with it in the way you can deal with it. For me, I lived it through. Every day I experienced it. I had to accept the fact that, listen, this is going to be my reality now, and I have to accept this. Not everybody can garner the strength to do that. My encouragement to anybody who has any disease or life disease or whatever, it's good to try to talk about it. If you think like me, nobody will never understand. But speaking about it will give you a bit of relief in the sense that somebody's hearing your inner hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I never spoke to anybody much about it. I never did. I just every time you ask me, Saka, you're good. Yeah, man, I'm good, I'm cool. And I was always hurting inside. It was something that used to tear me up and kill me. Like, yo, me cannot relate this to anybody. And people who do dialysis too, there's a Jamaican guy is right beside me. When him just come, Jesus Christ, this man, the most miserable thing because him to understand how him end up here. So I know. Me and him talk every time and him talk and him call me sometimes and me talk to him over the phone and I said, brother, you want dead? He said, well, then don't live then, sir. This is a part of your life. The little stick where you stick your monitor, and it does hurt. Me not gonna lie. Me not gonna tell you say it not hurt. It hurt. But think about what happens after my treatment. Me feel better. Well, me understand I can live. So the encouragement to anybody talk about it. If you're in the church and whatever, you know, you look at groups and you share these things with people because people can gather from their experiences with other people and try to help you. That's as much as I can say about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's as much as I can say about that.
Mm-hmm. And the second part to the question is for those persons who are relatively healthy but might take their health for granted. What do you say to those people?
It's hard to tell somebody who is healthy, cause that for their mind, them no know. You can't tell them say, yo, you can't sick. Cause mentally them have it on them head, so them can't sick cause them healthy enough. But I would say to somebody who is healthy, be mindful that at any point in time, your health can become in question and you can lose your health because of one, things that you are doing, and two, things that your body, because sometimes your body just fight against it basically, and because you feed it with so much crap and all them stuff, you have to be careful. The sad part about America is that most people here have some disease. obesity, whatever the case may be, because of the food, and the processed food and all these things. So sometimes being health conscious here, it is a thing where, it's hard because almost everything is processed. But to the person who's healthy, never think that this person cannot be you. And always try as best as possible to, you know, be on the healthier side and be mindful of the fact that at any given moment, something can go wrong. And this can be, or I might end up in a particular situation. Because if cancer comes for you, you don't know. It doesn't give any warning sign and say, oh, next week in a day, I'm gonna check you because give a sign. These things don't give signs. Sometimes we are so healthy to the point that we omit the fact that reality can strike at any time and we can get sick. So yeah.
All right. Is there anything else you want the people to know? Any last words?
Last words. I'm good, people. For those who are concerned about me, I'm good. I don't have everybody on Facebook. Those who have my number, we keep in touch and whatever. But I'm good. I'm just missing home. Homesick is an understatement. I've lost so many people, and every time I hear a story or somebody dead or whatever the case may be, I'm like, yo, I should have been home to support family and all these things. But you know what? They know they know themselves, and they know that if I was there, I would have given as much support as I can. And that doesn't mean that I can't do it from here. I just want to give everybody, encouragement to continue doing what they're doing, be positive in everything you do. With this whole pandemic now, people have to find means and ways of trying to be creative in making money or even feeling some level of acceptance, because right now everybody's doing something from home. So I sorry, not corona. Not corona. Okay. So like with you there, like I as I said before, when I saw Oliphant's interview and I heard my name at the front, I called at the same time and say, yo, put me on for the program. I need to share my experience and things. So just be creative. That's all I'm just saying, to just be creative. Try to try to find the inner you. Things that we wanted to do that because we were so busy, we couldn't do it. This is the perfect opportunity to try.
Come on. Saka.
Yes, sir.
I thank you for coming on the program.
Yeah, man. Respect, man.
Yeah, man. I really hope that very soon you can get to make a trip down.
Yes, man. Come on.
Yeah, man. And I pray that you get that kidney very soon as well. Man, and in the meantime, I'm just praying for your strength, as you go and do it.
Yeah, man. Respect, bro.
Yeah, man. All right, Chief. Bless up.
All right, take it easy. Yeah, man. Cool.
Yeah, man. All right.